are watching and listening to the longest-running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stancy, Romoran, and Emil Nate checking in on a Monday live stream. Thank you for joining us dito sa aming bagong earlier time slot. Alang-alang kay Emil Nate. Ganyan siya ka-importante sa atin na kailangan natin mag-adjust para sa kanya. Thank you, Emil Hausen.
Thanks, guys.
I mean, we have to adjust to Emil. Kasi paano siya bibili ng games, ng deluxe edition of games?
Yeah,
if he can't show up to work, no matter what time it is. Paano siya bibili ng King of Kings edition ng WWE 2K26? Hindi na susuportahan.
I got it because of the early access, really. That's the reason why I got the game.
Yan, lalagay na rin natin yan sa poster.
He got it because he cannot wait to play as Joe Hendry.
Nah, because of Punk being on the cover.
Punk was in 25.
And the showcase mode, actually.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, WWE 2K26 comes out on early access this weekend. So March 6th, that is this Friday. Yep. So if you are one of the early access holders, tulad ni Emil Nate na willing mag-spend, ayan, you'll get your copy of the game 1 week earlier than the rest of us, mga aliping sa gigilid.
Yeah, and then I'm planning to do some stream this weekend. I'll do it in this page, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so those are Emil Nate's plans for the weekend. So alam natin na nasa bahay lang siya. Right, thanks for joining us for another live stream. We've got a lot to talk about, given your weekend reacts. But before we get to that, let's get some plugs. Emil Nate, let them know how they can join the Patreon program.
All right, guys, so you can support and, you can support the podcast and join our Patreon or Gang program. It's patreon.com/wrestling podcast and gagnow.com/wrestling2xpod. So it's $5 every month. You get the Discord community, you get first tips for everything, get exclusive access, all that fun and more. It's a good way to support the podcast, especially we are close to a month. I think a month, yes. We're a month away from our 12th anniversary. Thank you so much to all of our patrons for their support. And yeah, it's at patreon.com/wrestling podcast and gagnow.com/wrestling2xpod for as low as $5.
Yeah, we're gonna accept yung sponsorships niyo as anniversary gifts. Sobrang so laking bagay niyan para sa amin pag nag-sponsor niyo. So if you sponsor anything, you can have Emil Nate rant on any subject you want. Magre-research siya para sa Play Natin na yon, just for you. If you sponsor a segment of the pod.
Not just sponsor. If it's been a while since we've said this, but you can still sign up for Patreon for Gang. Kahit 1 month lang. Kahit sandali lang, just to give us a quick shout out, give us a quick support here and there for all the years that we've entertained you, whether we've entertained you here on Facebook or on Spotify or YouTube, if we entertain you on your drives and your commutes, diba? I'm sure marami kayo yan. Humihingi kami ng munting 1 month subscription mula sa inyo.
Pambayad din namin yan kay Babyface producer Jasper. Sa kanya din napupunta, di rin sa amin.
Sana napasaya ako din last week yung whoever commented on our Spotify page.
Check ko kami bagong comment.
Whoever you are.
Yeah. Maria Hilda Sakang Bayani.
Sana napasaya ka ni Emil Nate. Right, one more thing to put over. Emil, tell them about the Converge Netflix bundle, of which you have 2.
Yeah. So you can watch all your WWE programming. TNA is on Blast TV, so you can enjoy all of that at its best with the Converge Netflix bundle. So you got 3 tiers to that plan: $17.98, $22.98, and $17.98, $9.98, and $22.98. You get the experience box, you get the free Netflix account, you get high-speed internet, you get the new Wi-Fi modem. And all you got to do is email the customer service email. You can email them, or if there is a office in your area, local Converge office in your area, you can go there as well. Yeah, we're always putting over Converge here. And actually today kakabayad ko lang bili ko for the month of March. So very sulit. So go subscribe.
All right. Let's start with the wrestling talk and kick things off with the Elimination Chamber PLE. So we've got our winners on both the men's side and the women's side. Rhea Ripley has won the women's elimination chamber, and we're getting our muscle mommy matchup for WrestleMania over the WWE Women's Championship. It's Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for that title. So, what do you think of this win? Did you guys call this on live stream?
Somebody did. I think somebody said Rhea. I can't remember who.
I think it was Chino.
Yeah, it might have been China.
Yeah.
I was pulling for Raquel to win it, diba? So
Yeah, me too.
I guess they're doing that for their match with Liv, diba? Yeah. I think this is like the best possible outcome for Jade. Not the one to say that the others won't be good matchups, but I feel like this matchup has the potential to not only break the internet, but also really deliver Jade's first great match in the WWE. Diba? Like in AEW, she had her best match with Statlander, and I feel like Rhea is of the same mold, din as State. They're both power-based women's wrestlers, and I feel like somebody might have seen that from AEW. I hope that somebody saw that. I say it's really the same template, and I feel like Jade could possibly give her best work with someone who is almost or at the same size.
Yeah, I agree. They went with the best possible matchup here. And naisip ko, okay, they probably put Rhea in the spot because they want the best possible match out of Jade for the biggest show of the year, which makes sense, you know. But honestly, after her win, ang pinakauna kong naisip si Iyo eh. You know, like I know that's gonna be our topic later on in the show, but that was the thing that entered my mind. Like, what happens with Iyo now?
We can skip ahead to it kasi connected din naman, diba? So Rhea bounced back with a win inside the Elimination Chamber after just 24 hours prior yung WWE Women's Tag Team Championship nila ni Io Sky. They lost that title and they got defeated by Nia Jax and Lash Legend.
Yeah, that's why nabigla ako when Rhea won eh. Kasi I thought their program for Mania is for the tag titles, but now with Rhea being the number one contender for the WWE Women's Championship, where does that leave Io Sky? So I'm not really sure at this point. Because hey, you got Liv and Stephanie's already on the other side. So what happens here?
So many different things can happen. Like I wouldn't be so. I'm not saying you're dismissive, but I wouldn't be so dumbfounded as to where it could go. I'll say, Julia being the U.S. champion without any real challengers to her championship. So, I'm never going to go in. I wouldn't be so worried about where it leaves Io because obviously they planned for it. Like, it's kind of a silly question to ask. Oh, where's it going to leave Io now? Because both women's divisions are pretty deep. If Rhea's being transported over to SmackDown, I don't think it's much of a stretch to assume that Io is going to be joining her then. Lalo na, I've always said that Raw has been top-loaded in the women's division so much because of everyone being in the tag, every big women's star being in the women's tag team division. So I do feel like a minor shakeup is in order there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last year around this time, Io Sky wasn't even in the World Championship picture.
Yeah.
Diba? And then she defeated Rhea Ripley on an episode of Raw, and then suddenly, boom, she was entering WrestleMania 41 as Women's World Champion. So, things could still change between now and then, diba? I'm surprised na wala kang insight from the writers' room, Emil Nate.
I mean, I hope so. I hope that happens. Because it would be a shame if she didn't get a premier matchup for WrestleMania. She had one hell of a year.
Julia's doing nothing. They're both wide open. I feel like they have set up that possibility.
That's gonna be an awesome match for sure.
Mm-hmm. Over on the men's side, before we go to the men's side, let's talk about what the championship win means for the Irresistible Forces. It's the first ever championship of Lash Legend's career.
Great. Yeah, love it.
Finally, the women's tag team championship is with arguably two women on the mid card. For so long now, for the past few months, it's been with women who are supposed to be reinforcing the top end of the women's divisions, either on Raw or SmackDown. And then they're kind of pushing back on that a little bit by building a new star in Lash Legend, which deserves naman niya. Like I feel like she really deserves it. A lot of people just don't know it yet. So I don't know where this leaves the tag team division of the women, but I feel like the past few months of this insane run for the championships, where no one got injured as well, diba, has accomplished what it set out to do. Na big deal na yung women's tag team championship for the time being, and now it's being used to build a new act, a new team.
Is it safe to say that the women's tag team championships are no longer cursed? Diba? Kasi
I guess. I hope
the past
so.
year, diba, ever since Mania last year, it's been a staple feature in the programming of both Raw and SmackDown. So good for the tag team division. They parang ano at this point, parang Io, Rhea, Liv, and Raquel has already done their part to re-energize the
So kung
division.
kinalimutan mo sina Charlotte and Alexa.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yun ba, Charlotte and Alexa. So I don't think they're still done though. Chasing under the tag titles. I feel like this is gonna be a multi-team affair at WrestleMania because you got all these tag teams. You still got the Kabuki Warriors. You still got Charlotte and Alexa. So it's gonna be a fun build to WrestleMania with all these tag teams around.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's go to the men's side of things, where Randy Orton won the men's Elimination Chamber match after a very insane finish. And sobrang
Yeah.
gulo. Medyo cluster F siya because of all of the moving parts. But at the very end, after Drew McIntyre snuck into the chamber and hit Cody Rhodes with the WWE Championship, Cody fought back. Sila ni Randy pinagtulungan nila. And then Cody hit Drew with the crossroads. And after he got up, boom! RKO on Cody Rhodes, fulfilling Aleister Black's prophecy na Randy Orton will stay true to his cutthroat tendencies.
Nakakarma si
Really
Cody.
cutthroat? I mean, like, how is that really cutthroat?
Because Cody's his friend.
But
Took
they were in the
advantage.
match together, competing against each other. How are you supposed to not be cutthroat in a multi-man match where only one person can win?
Hindi, di ba? He didn't give Cody a chance to like reset himself. He just hit him nang hindi pa siya ready to fight.
I don't
Not
know.
in a fighting stance.
That's a bit of a stretch. I feel like if that's the direction of the story, it's kind of a weird stretch to assume na yun na yung pinaka-cutthroat na posibleng gawin ni Randy. Like, I think it was just him doing the thing. I be honorable and reset the match. I don't know.
Yeah,
If that is the
it's
thing, I feel like it's kind of weak in as a narrative device. I just thought that okay, um, it's a thing that happened because we have also gotten so used to Randy hitting the RKO from out of nowhere.
it's Cody getting a taste of his own medicine. Did the same thing to qualify, diba? He took advantage of a situation, just like Randy took advantage of the situation. So the narrative is there. It's just funny how the chamber is supposed to keep people out of the chamber, but we got two instances of people interfering. So it is just funny. That we
No,
got
I don't
two in a
think
match.
I
You know?
I don't think it was meant to keep people out. It was meant to keep the participants in. That
Yeah.
was never it wasn't like a steel cage.
Yeah,
That was always the psychology behind the chamber. It was meant to
yeah.
keep them all in and have them inflict violence on each other, diba? So, um, it's it's okay because it is kind of a bit contrived the way they all put together. But yeah, I don't know what to feel about Randy winning, but I guess on its face it's okay na it wasn't Cody. Like everyone was saying it was Cody because nobody else could feel or nobody else could sense that someone else could win, and then Orton won. I don't know where I wanted to go yet. I don't even know how they're getting to a multi-man match by WrestleMania, but I'm sure they'll find a way. Yeah.
Yeah. I
I don't
mean,
hate it, but I also don't really love it either.
it
I
was
feel like
so for me. It was so random. The running meme was so random. Even though you could
sure.
probably piece together something here in the build up to WrestleMania, but it still felt like it still felt so random because Randy isn't really present on in the programming. Like he would return once in a while, do his thing, and then he would be away for a while. So parang ano parang I felt na he's never gonna be in that position again, like someone that can carry a main event program. But so it was really surprising to me how okay they're giving him the ball here, for a main event WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. So um, although they did announce for SmackDown, they announced Cody versus Drew for the title. So there is a possibility still that this could end up as Cody versus Orton for the title.
Sure. Yeah, I'm willing to see where they go with it. It's weird. It's weird in a good way. The thing that people were expecting to happen didn't happen. Have you talked about Seth yet?
Not
Seth's
yet, yeah.
comeback. All right, here we go. Seth made the comeback. There were two masked men. They did the thing. It was a decoy once again from Seth's school. And then Seth himself came back. I guess it was the right time. It was the right time
Yeah.
to end. People were kind of getting tired of the masked man device. Um, Wala. It was about time to pull the trigger. It was about time to bring Seth back. And sayang lang. It was supposed to be Bronson Reed this whole time. But then he got injured on Monday, and then they had to adjust here with Logan Paul. It's weird because when Logan joined, Seth was
Oh,
already
wala
gone,
na.
diba?
Yeah.
So
Weird.
Seth has no real beef with Logan Paul here. Like
His
it's
beef
just
is with
the only,
Heyman.
yeah, the only beef. I mean, the only existing connecting thread of the beef is bata ni Paul Heyman si Logan Paul, diba? So
Mm.
it's not as strong as it could be, but at least it's still kind of there. But yeah, they're kind of screwed here, and they managed to luck into this whole thing surviving because they kept adding people to the vision.
Yeah. I should have known that it was coming kasi Seth has been doing a lot of press lately as well.
Sure.
If you noticed. So yeah, it was, we all expected it to be Seth. Maybe they're just waiting now for him to get medically cleared before they could reveal or build up a program. So yeah, I think Seth versus Logan is the way now here. This is the match that we're gonna get since he's the only one there. I have a question though.
Yeah.
Is Seth now a face again, or at least like anti-hero face again?
Yeah, people were cheering for him. They were singing the
Yeah,
song. They were singing the theme.
yeah, yun nga. That was
So
one of the things that
you can
uh,
pretty much expect that Seth is gonna come back as a babyface here.
Mhm. Yeah, sino rin ba naman yung i-cheer mo sa Vision, di ba?
not Logan Paul for sure.
Yeah, people don't like Austin Theory either, diba?
So yeah, parang by default, Rollins is your babyface there. So
Yep.
really good for the Black and Brave kids. I don't know if you've mentioned them, but the Black and Brave students, yeah,
Oh
for
yeah.
for getting that rub by appearing on
Well,
WWE
hindi naman
television.
totoong rub kasi they were all just met with who the hell is this guy, diba? Who the hell is this dude?
I mean, still experience points
That's
being on
exposure.
national
yes,
TV.
yes, experience, but not an actual rub in that.
Not
they
an
will
actual
be-
rub, sure.
Siguro one day, hopefully, when they
Yeah.
make it a TV, we'll all look back on this moment, on in these times, and say, "No, this world champion has been one of the masked men who interfered on behalf of Seth Rollins."
Yeah, the same way na ini-encircle, di ba? Oh, si cute dati si Sheamus at si Wade Barrett.
Si LA Knight din, si Q din.
Oh, si LA Knight, si cute din dati, di ba?
No.
Right, more highlights from the Elimination Chamber PLE. AJ Lee is now the Women's Intercontinental Championship, her first title in 11 years. So, what did you think about that moment?
Love it.
Yeah, really good.
Love that moment. I mean,
I think it was a better moment than
Yeah.
Punk retaining and walking into it. I mean, like people love AJ Lee more at this point.
yeah, I love that whole match. I love Jessica Carr being pointed out as an important player in the match, because of what happened with Becky previously. So that added a little bit more to it, and yeah, good to see AJ with a title like the Intercontinental Championship. So yeah, so happy for him.
Yeah, I just want to give props to Becky Lynch because she spent the last year basically building the women's intercontinental title, diba? From
Yep.
Lyra Valkyria to Maxine Dupree and now to AJ Lee. Sobrang in-establish niya yung championship na yun. And her feuds matter. Like, you could probably treat the Intercontinental Championship as a title that's as important as the World Championship, even though it's not a World Championship, just because of yung prestige that Becky has lent to it and how she put so much effort into the storytelling, both in the ring and outside the ring. So I just want to give Becky Lynch her flowers here. Truly one of the best in the game. And it's not just me saying it, other people are saying it.
Bleacher Report is saying it. Hey, like there would be some PLEs where there would be an Intercontinental Championship match and walang match yung for the world title. So that that speaks to how great Becky Lynch has been as the Intercontinental Champion. So props to Becky.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ro, you mentioned kanina si Finn Balor not getting the job done against CM Punk. And then at the end, nag-handshake sila. So Finn shows respect. He actually decided to shake Punk's hand.
Yeah, there is character development here. I think it's a culmination then of the character arc that Finn had been through, and kulang na lang is him getting kicked out of Judgment Day, diba?
Do you want that to happen?
Huh?
Do you want that to happen?
I mean, what else is gonna happen? Sorry, Jasper, diba? Like he wasn't gonna win the championship now. It really was just to set up the fact that he's gonna be more than being a stooge again of his own group, diba? So whatever it is, they're going back to Finn Balor being a top guy, being a big deal. And as Punk said before, a few weeks ago, that means shedding the weight of the Judgment Day, of being part of this, at this point, group that was a shell of itself. Diba? Like everyone who has graduated from the Judgment Day, they all realize now, okay, they are much more than the group. And the lore now surrounding it is Judgment Day is actually the thing that's holding you down, ironically, despite being a family. Because they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah, I just wish Finn would get rid of the pants, go back to the trunks, go back to the Finn that we love, man.
That was a weird comment.
Oh, also a very weird request.
I mean, y'all know him.
Millionaire, gustong mag-blip si Finn Balor.
Because that was main event Finny. That's what we associated with Finn Balor being a main eventer. So
gusto mo nakablip lang siya para main event na siya.
To complete the transformation. I want him to go back to the NXT Prince Finn Balor character, which my favorite version of him, where he was just a killer. He was the best guy in NXT then. So,
ano sinabi ni Tommaso Ciampa na 2018 me, I'm way better than that guy.
Well, okay, that's him. But I just want him to be successful and win the championship at WrestleMania. I think Dom versus Finn here is, the direction that we're heading to.
Mm-hmm. Kung yun nga talaga yung mangyayari for WrestleMania, it'll be a one-year story arc basically. Kasi about last year's WrestleMania, Dom pinned Finn to go get the Intercontinental Championship from Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Full second. 1 year story here of Finn and the Judgment Day having that tension. So it's going to call me at WrestleMania.
All right. Last bit here from the Elimination Chamber. We have to talk about the crate and its contents. Danhausen was in the crate. Huh?
Wait a minute. I just want to talk about Punk's entrance for a bit, by the way.
Oh, wait. Really
cool.
Sure. Oh.
Yeah, that was really cool. No, because as a big basketball fan,
intro,
kind of marked out. With was he the PA?
Yes, that was Ray Clay, the actual PA
90s?
Announcer.
Wow,
yes.
That's crazy.
That was the voice of Ray Clay, and then they played in Sirius by the Alan Parsons Project, which was the iconic theme ng Starting Five.
Yeah, but then again, I kind of felt sad for the Bulls franchise that the people still talk about their tenure in the 90s instead of what happened in the last 25 years. So for Bulls fans, that's gonna be a bummer for you guys.
Kinagago mo si Ro eh.
He's a Bears fan, not a Bulls fan.
I'm a Bulls fan.
Oh,
I am a Chicago sports fan. But But at this point, we don't really care that, you know. I mean, yes, it's sad that the Bulls franchise is not what it was in the 90s. But at this point, you're still talking about the Bulls, even if you're
Yeah,
still talking about the 90s Bulls. But like,
fair.
we'll
At
still
least,
always have that.
yeah,
You
at
know?
least you'll have that. I know that decade instead of
Sure.
like unlike on these other franchises like the Wizards or the
The Bobcat,
Pelicans.
the Hornets.
Yeah, the Hornets. You know, so yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Danhausen coming out of the crate along with all the female dancers, one of which apparently was his wife, who is a burlesque dancer, and she choreographed that entire entrance. So I rewatched the segment after we called it, diba? So I rewatched it this morning. And tawang-tawa lang ako. Like, it just reminds me of the OBB of a cartoon or of a very campy TV show. Like, from the song down to yung movements ni Danhausen and the clearly deliberate whimper of a firecracker that ended yung performance niya, diba? I found it really funny that he came out with a jar of teeth and then sinabi niya kay Wade Barrett, "Up yours, Wade!" So that was a really nice touch from Danhausen. But the internet discourse is one that's largely tepid towards Danhausen.
Tepid. Wow, that's a nice way to say it.
Yeah, there were worse things that were said about
Tepid.
this. Yeah.
All right. Negative 10. So they really, really banked on Danhausen. One, being CM Punk's friend, and two, being a known internet quantity. To have made this reveal and introduction work, but it really, really backfired on them because for the past 30 or so years, for however long WWE was on top, Vince McMahon actively taught his fan base to disregard everything else that's going on outside of WWE. Diba? And even with the past 12 or 13 or so years of Triple H trying to undo that damage and teach WWE fans to acknowledge the outside world, the independence, the competition beyond them. Some of it worked, yes, some of it did not work, and then this one really did not work because you have your WWE only fans who are WWE only fans, diba? Like, they do not care what this Danhausen was doing in AEW. They also did not care that he was one of CM Punk's boys, diba? So it was really, really sad and an indictment of how being insular and isolated as a wrestling company can really tank your stock or your plans, especially when you are banking on the guys you bring in being stars from outside the company, diba? Swerte ka lang na, I think Triple H had the right plays in mind when he decided to bring in guys like Balor himself, like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura into NXT first, because NXT is still the internet fans show after all these years and since the very beginning, diba? Since it was transitioned from being the FCW halfway house, diba? Even in its game show days, but when season 1, when Daniel Bryan was a part of it, they were banking on the internet fans carrying NXT. And it's funny because there will be WWE fans who won't even watch NXT, but it's too niche for even them, for people who are self-professed WWE fans. And that's the dangers really of treating your main roster product as the be all end all of wrestling. Diba? A lot of fans know better. And also it doesn't help that people were expecting Jericho because they did not know what the past couple of years of Chris Jericho were really like. So there's a lot of that.
That bit, yung Chris Jericho expectation, you can kind of blame on the fans themselves.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's not like
definitely.
WWE.
I'm definitely blaming that on the fans.
But it's not like the programming was very heavy-handed. Jericho's coming out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not blaming WWE for Jericho, for the Jericho expectation. Let's make that clear. I'm blaming the fans for Chris Jericho. That's the same way I blame them no Rumble when they were somehow expecting Jericho in the Rumble. So that's on them. It's really on them. But for the most part, if the conversation is really about casual fans not knowing who Danhausen is, and even casual fans trashing our local product, really because WWE has conditioned them to only prioritize and value WWE. It's really it. It's really just it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that some fans were just expecting a little bit too much here. In the build up to Chamber, it wasn't connected to any storylines at all. It was just so random. So I didn't, I wasn't expecting so much of it. Like you got some fans, I saw someone parang disappointed sila kasi hindi daw si Chris Jericho, hindi daw si Darak, or hindi daw si Vince McMahon yung lumabas. Like, what the fuck were you expecting, bro? You know,
No one was expecting anything.
yeah,
You know,
some people did. Some people did though. So that's the most funny part. That's
yeah,
the
it is
funniest
pretty
part to
insane.
me.
It is kind of
Yeah.
it's kind of AI levels of psychotic, diba? If
Yeah.
you use your AI to convince you of things that are very much not true, it's
Yeah.
pretty much that.
Yeah. And when I watch it, there was a small pop, and then they were booing at the end. Like, I kind of felt sorry for Danhausen for that a little bit. Because this was your first chance, first chance to be out there. May kasabihan nga, you can't have parang a second chance to make a first impression. So, kind of felt bad for him. So I hope things get better from here. And yeah, but yeah, good to see Danhausen on TV again. For
Here's
sure.
the thing. I actually have good hopes for Danhausen. Like I do think he will thrive here. Like this is the same crowd that ate up our truth. They actually wanted our truth to go back to being comedy our truth. They ate up Mr. Iguana, even though we didn't know who Mr. Iguana was. They ate up both freaking El Grande Americanos, and they still do. So there is literally no reason they won't eat up Danhausen. The only problem talaga was that they were the victim, or Danhausen rather, was the victim of really unrealistic expectations here.
Question for you guys. What do you think about fans also being shocked na parang, oh, Danhausen, where's this guy been? If not, who is this guy? Where has this guy been? Kasi diba, he hasn't been on American TV for the better part of the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. That is, I believe, the genius then of what Tony Khan did. He kind of hamstrung WWE here by refusing to put Danhausen on AEW television. So
Yeah.
nobody knows where he was. Nobody, the Danhausen hype was literally killed, and then WWE tried to really jumpstart that hype by hoping for the best. Na being the internet darling and being Punk's friend would work out well for him.
Yeah, I don't think I have seen Danhausen on TV since Punk left. So 2 years ago na yun, matagal na yun, like 3 years ago.
2.5.
even. 2.5.
Oh.
Wow, that's a long time, to be absent on TV and suddenly reappearing in another company. So may mga tao talaga, like in wrestling, 2.5 years is a long time. So
It's pretty long.
yeah, so there gonna be some, even if you say na you're a avid wrestling viewer, if you were gone for 2.5 years, there's a chance na people might not remember who you are, especially na Danhausen wasn't really like a main eventer in AEW. Like he was just an act that would appear once in a while and make you laugh. Didn't really have any memorable matches either. So, he was kind of put on a tough spot here, and I wish from this day forward, people, we're gonna see more of Danhausen. People are gonna start to like it.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Let's see kung anong kalalabasan nito. I also find it really, paano ba? Even I don't know anymore like where people go when they debut. Diba? Kasi sina Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, they went to NXT. Blake Monroe went to NXT. Royce Key shows up at the Rumble. Danhausen shows up at Elimination Chamber. I think at this point, none of us can really even guess anymore where people end up once they sign with the company.
I think that's also another problem. I think it's been really inconsistent about how people are being assigned now. Like, I'm not saying they don't need NXT, but I'm saying that why does Danhausen get to debut at a major PLE, diba? Like a major main roster PLE, and not as an NXT thing, right? Like, is this like a nepo hire by Punk? What is this? Like, may ganun ba? Like, I feel like them also not playing by the rules can add to the frustration.
All right, let's take a quick Emil Nate dance break. Then after that, we'll go through SmackDown and all the other highlights from the rest of the world of wrestling.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar, and you're listening to the Wrestling Podcast.
All right, let's go to SmackDown. We already talked about yung big championship, big title change for the Irresistible Forces. So let's skip ahead to Uncle Howdy defeating Solo Sikoa one-on-one. And then right as he was going to go get the lantern, yoink, Talatonga hit him with a big boot to the face and then grabbed the lantern, and then the MFTs made a run for it before the rest of the Wyatt Six could come down. So halatang di pa tapos tong issue between the Wyatts and the MFTs.
You know how I want this to end? At WrestleMania, Firefly Funhouse match.
Okay.
This is how
if that is how it's gonna end, then I can forgive this wishy-washy.
Yeah.
This really clear stalling and extension. Like, I was about to say that not every story deserves to be a long-term story.
Yeah.
But okay, kung
before.
Firefly Funhouse ang kalalabasan ito, then sure, by all means, do that.
Sino, si Solo
thing.
lang or the entire group?
That
The entire lahat.
Fuck it, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Like reference JC Mateo being a champion here. I don't know. Do everything.
Reference JC Mateo having a brother and being in a boiler suit.
Do the thing. Remember though, it is 7 weeks or 6 weeks from Sunday.
Yun na, malayo pa eh. What are they gonna do for the
God
next
damn.
6 weeks? Yeah. What's the titles again? God, I even forgot.
MFT.
Oh my God. Sheesh.
Nasa kanila yung championship.
Okay.
Yun na.
Yeah. Yun lang.
Yeah, I was gonna joke na baka ito yung War Games feud this year.
God. I mean, we talked about that last year as the possibility of it being. Di pa pala MFT kalaban ng Why?
It's actually sad because they can't do anything like an anarchy in the arena for this because
Yeah.
it's an AEW thing. But if they just attempt it, like sure, maybe it would be great because at this point, how else do you blow it off than with a big match, diba?
Yeah, yeah.
I could see this as one of the matches before Mania. You know?
No, actually, I think the Firefly Funhouse is a good idea now that you've mentioned it, Emil. Kasi, diba, it will be integrated into the actual Firefly Funhouse dun sa Universal Studios, diba?
Right.
Is it still there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they do that. Yeah.
It totally didn't even cross my mind until you mentioned it. So, and this is just me trying to connect shit together. But, we know nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you've got feelings about this, so let's follow up on Sami Zayn getting gaslit again into walking back his feelings and him trying to stand up for himself. This time, si Jacob Fatu naman yung nag-angas kay Sami Zayn that made him just tuck his tail and throw a tantrum instead.
Don't say sorry, man. Don't say sorry, Sammy. You should.
Who are you to say? Who are you to say any of this shit? No, I don't know what they're trying to do here. Like, I don't know what kind of character they're heading to. Are they headed for a heel turn? Because that's the only way any of this makes sense.
Who, Sammy? Or
yeah, because like, what is this?
Can't he be a fired up babyface na, no, I will not take this disrespect anymore.
I don't know. I don't think that's where they're headed. I don't think that's where they headed here. Parang weird, like I don't know. It's just a bad character all in all until they get to that tipping point.
Bakit a bad character for you?
Because he isn't sympathetic. Like, people are booing him for agreeing to say sorry, for conceding to these two other guys who are just pushing him around, diba? Like, he brings up good points and then babawiin niya. Like, how is any of this? How do you root for any of this? Diba? The crowds are telling you, I can't root for this guy because none of this is relatable. Like, I don't want to see Sammy say sorry the same way we don't want to see Emil keep saying sorry. Diba? If they're headed for a stronger babyface character, I don't think people will buy it by the time they get there. Kaya the only thing I see for this is that they're turning Sammy heel.
Interesting. Plus, the people are kind of, hindi naman sa kind of tired, but they've seen this before. The underdog Sammy character. And I feel like may fatigue na rin from the crowd when he was the IC champion. Baka they don't want to see this just yet.
Counterpoint though, hindi ba kailangan lagi ng WWE ng pure white meat babyface, and isn't Sammy filling that role?
Yeah, kasi ngayon wala na rin. On Raw, I can't think of anyone who is as,
Javon.
he's not there yet. I don't think he's there yet. But yeah, Sammy is their guy for that. So someone that we could always root for.
Yeah. Yung parang the Rey Mysterio role. Kasi diba, Rey isn't really regularly appearing na rin. So I would have thought na you guys would see Sammy as the Rey Mysterio in 2026.
Well, definitely not like this. Like, I don't think Ray's gonna, talk shit and then suddenly say sorry dahil lang nasigawan siya, diba? Parang, it's weak shit. It's literally what it is.
But okay, let's say si Jacob Fatu yung kaharap nyo. As you guys, like, would you say sorry to Jacob Fatu? Yeah. Let's say, you're in your feelings and you're mouthing off at Jacob Fatu tas inangasan ka niya. Will you get into it with him or say sorry and, not let him beat you up?
I'd say sorry.
Of course you would. You would say sorry. But Sammy has...
Ikaw. If you were in Sammy's shoes.
I mean, I probably not. If I felt strong, I assume that I have the same conviction as Sammy, that I felt that Drew was inadvertently helping Jacob, diba? Or whatever, diba? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say sorry because that's not the character.
Mm-hmm. Kahit na, Jacob's in your face and is one flip of a switch away from beating you up.
Then let's get into a brawl. Fuck that.
Okay.
No, I mean, okay, it's me. The what if is what if. I mean, the what if is, it's. I'm not saying I'm not saying that the reaction that was written for Sammy has to be realistic. I'm saying the reaction that has to be written for Sammy has to be aligned with how you want to present the character. Diba?
Yeah, I
okay. If we want Sammy to be someone with conviction, if you want to root for him as someone with conviction, why is he suddenly tucking tail because of this? Diba? Like, people booed the fact that he apologized to Cody because he was saying some good points to Cody. Diba? Counterpoints aside.
Tapos binara lang siya ni Cody, yeah.
Oh.
Because there's a turning point there's going to be a turning point where finally doesn't say sorry and finally stand up on his word. I feel like that's the moment that they're waiting for.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're building up to. Pero the way we're getting there does not inspire confidence. Because you end up presenting Sammy as a weak and bullied puppy. Kasi inangasan siya. Yes, I know what they're getting to because they're showing Sammy throwing a tantrum. But I feel like the way their morality works is those tantrums are leading up to frustration, heading to a heel turn, and not as a fired up babyface. You know what I mean?
Gets. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All
right. Yeah. Speaking of someone else who's going through a bit of a spiral right now, Ilya Dragunov was actually offered by Melo to go have a United States Championship match. Tapos si Ilya pa yung tumanggi. Sabi niya, di ko deserve kasi lagi akong talo ngayon.
Yeah, that's actually pretty weird thinking.
Yeah, that's a weird guy. That's very out of character for Ilya Dragunov.
Like, why are you castrating Ilya like this? Because it's an open challenge. Like, I get that. It's a weird character flaw where there is some weird code of honor thing working behind the scenes here. He is this weird, upright, strict code of morality that stops him from doing that makes him feel na di na deserve, diba? But this is within the context of an open challenge where literally anyone who isn't even deserving can grasp the open challenge. Like, I get it. I get the characterization. It just looks silly in this context. Diba?
You know what I think this leads to? He's probably gonna get Brock versus Ilya for WrestleMania. I want that to happen. And then that's when Ilya finally gets his big win over Brock. So, just tingin ko lang.
Okay. All right. Sige. That's it for SmackDown. Let's go and cross over to AEW and New Japan. So, Konosuke Takeshita has brought more gold back to the Don Callis family in the form of the New Japan TV Championship. So, this actually comes off the heels of more people complaining about AEW not necessarily helping New Japan in their partnership.
Yeah, Callum Newman was actually just recently complaining. Tapos, before that, Yoda Tsuji also made some public comments. So it's really funny that NJPW continues to double down and just hand AEW and outsiders in general parang their championships about. Takeshita beat El Fantasmo, a friend of the Philippines. Although I don't think ELP was like setting the world on fire as a champion, and I feel like it will go much farther with Takeshita as a champion. It's funny lang na parang walang self-awareness yung Galawan here, and the management continues to piss off its roster, and the roster is openly complaining about that, especially in the wake of a lot of high profile departures from New Japan. So it's interesting. I get it. I'm not disagreeing with Takeshita being champion here, because that's going to go much farther than ELP. Pero it's just really funny that the way things are working like this.
Isn't Takeshita a signed talent anyway by New Japan?
Yes, pero in the context of New Japan, he is still viewed as an outsider that NJPW just happened to sign. So it's like, for lack of a better comparison, it's like Michael Jordan being viewed as a Wizards legend. You know what I mean? Parang ganun. So it's like saying that Takeshita is an NJPW guy is like saying that Michael Jordan is a lifelong Wizards guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Seems like NJPW will not change their minds anytime soon about this. They will see the partnership as, like parang they still benefit from it if that's what they think.
Actually, unfortunately, they still do benefit from the AAA partnership. Like even unfortunately, and this is also with context to things happening here in the Philippines, giving the more popular and more broadcast talent your championships still also kind of works,
Yeah.
But the beauty of the NJPW AEW partnership is kahit papaano wabalik pa rin naman yung AEW guys to Japan.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that still happens,
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think that, when your talent, when they're publicly complaining about this type of stuff, then you've got quite a big problem here.
John also brings up a good point. I didn't put this here because it wasn't much. But that said, Yota Tsuji did also just retain the global championship against Andrade El Idolo. The global championship is something that he could have easily lost as well, because at this point it's like the kind of forgotten 1B, especially now that the IWGP World Championship became the heavyweight championship again. So kudos to them then. I agree. Kudos to them that they kind of stuck. They kind of kept Tsuji winning against someone like Andrade.
All right, over on CMLL, Johnny TV lost a Lucha de Apuestas match and lost his hair. 20 plus years of seeing this man with long, luscious locks down the drain. Pusa, nasugatan pa nga siya nung kinalbo siya.
But it's time.
Is it though?
Yeah.
What made you say that, Emil Nate? Have you been watching this man's hair every day for the last 20 years?
How is it time? How do you look at Johnny TV and say it's time for you to shave your head?
Siyempre, di niya gagawin yun if it feels like it wasn't the time to do it. So, he did it. Like, finally did it.
It's crazy. They didn't even do like a half measure of all of this, and just straight up went from long hair to bald.
Bagay naman sa kanya.
Yeah, bagay naman. In a way that he kind of looks like Stephen Amell and as
Yeah.
Arrow. Yeah.
So I just find it odd kasi we're like literally within the same month si Wheeler Yuta kinalbo din siya, diba? He also lost his hair. And then kay Johnny TV, like for me, Johnny TV, who's a more well-established character in the wrestling universe, in the larger wrestling world, I would have wanted to see this on American TV.
Yeah, but it was a Mexican story. It was a CMLL story.
Yeah, it was.
But props to him, though. I mean, we're talking about Johnny TV again. We're talking about John Hennigan again. So, if he felt that he needed to do that for the clout, then it pretty much worked.
Yeah,
I guess so.
I'll be seeing his high-flying moves. Parang gumagalaw din yung buhok.
Sure.
All right, more stuff from the AEW universe here. Let's talk about the ROH Studio show, which let's save that for last. David Finlay continues to wrestle in New Japan as a free agent, and we still don't know where he's at. And in talking about this, I also have to mention it might be tangentially related. But if you watch the Uriah Connors Cale Dixon match from NXT, Uriah is beginning to look more and more like his brother, and I think it's the mustache. I don't know why. I don't know if you saw it, pero nung pinapanood ko yung match, parang mas kamukha niya si David Finlay ngayon.
Parang ginagaya niya yung itsura niya as the War Dogs leader. Like David Finlay did the whole man bun thing, and now Uriah Connors is doing the man bun thing as well. So I guess if they're not getting Finlay, then they're making Brogan look like David.
No, I would have thought there was like a foreshadowing that the actual guy is coming over. I don't know. Again, we know nothing.
Oh, wait.
That's what I think, actually.
If David Finlay is coming over, why are they making his brother look like him? Hindi
I don't know. So established na
magkapatid sila.
Magkapatid silang Nepo baby.
Same hairstyle, same deal, diba? Yeah. So I mean, like, why would they kind of look identical when David comes in? That's a strange choice to make.
So that people are familiar that he's
No, Emil. If David comes in while Brogan looks the same as him, they're just gonna look alike. Like exactly alike.
Yeah, mas malaki na yung katawan ni David.
Sure. Katawan ni David.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have no idea where David Finlay's going, by the way. We're really just speculating here.
The fact that David wrestled for New Japan in America, I mean, while being in America, shows that he is really just waiting to surprise us by, revealing where he signed in the US.
I still believe he's going to be the leader of the Birthright.
Okay, so that's your bet. Ikaw Ro. Ano prediction?
Hindi ko alam talaga. Like, I think it's the easy choice to make, or the easy bet to make, is that he joins his brother and father in WWE. But he could have also done that years ago, right? So I don't think, I don't think he's gonna do that now. But I feel like the bet isn't. I mean, the guess isn't going to be that simple,
All right. Last bit here, the ROH Studio show has begun taping in Jacksonville. So announced ni Tony Khan na yun na yung permanent home of Ring of Honor, and they've got basically a studio show set up. It's very much like NWA, NXT UK, even NXT to a degree. TNA, diba, the Impact Zone when they're in Full Sail, very much the same setup. And for some reason, fans are dunking on this.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, some people are, just trolling. But I wanted to address it here anyway, even though it's a clear case of trolling. Because if you genuinely believe that this genuinely looks bad, then I have to tell you that this is freaking Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is the developmental of AEW at this point. They're not supposed to be a big show. They're only a big show because they tape in the same arenas on the same night as your Dynamites and Collisions. Diba? That's really the only reason why. If they look big. Going to these smaller venues and holding exclusive taping sessions in these smaller venues ensures that you get better reactions on the actual Ring of Honor show, and you're not just taping the way 205 Live did a decade ago, diba? Hindi siya weird, awkward shit na you're taping in front of people who didn't go home yet, diba?
No,
So,
let's add context to it because there may be listeners who probably don't understand what you're saying.
okay, sure.
Kasi yung 205 Live dati would tape at 10 p.m.
Yep,
local
after
time.
SmackDown.
After SmackDown had gone off the air. So imagine, pagod ka na from whatever happened on SmackDown, and then you're about to go home and you realize, uy, may wrestling pa pala. So if you stayed...
And it was after the big stars.
Oh, it was after
yeah.
the big stars. And at the time, yung mga cruiserweights, the biggest names they really had were sina TJP, sina Brian Kendrick, diba? That was really it. And then if you happen to stay great, you got some quality wrestling, but you'd also notice na latak na lang kayo, like 30-40% of the crowd. And that's being generous from my first-hand experience. So... Yeah, that's what Ro is saying here. Now, at least when you have a dedicated studio taping, you also have a dedicated audience who's actually there to watch whatever's happening in front of them.
And will make the atmosphere and energy of the show better. Diba? And if you're dunking on, of all things, of all brands, Ring of Honor for doing a small venue, then you did not know ball at all, because this is Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor was never a big company.
Yeah.
Their biggest shows was from their peak, and they weren't even in big venues. Diba? Like, I think the biggest was like Hammerstein. Diba?
Yeah, Hammerstein. Mga 2,000-seater lang ata yun eh.
Diba?
300 arena.
If you're publicly trashing Ring of Honor for doing this, for TK for doing this for Ring of Honor, then you're really just exposing yourself. Diba? Like, this is great for Ring of Honor. Like, I would, many of us would love to be in small studio setups like this.
Yeah, this is something we tried, diba? Emil, you were talking about this at Discord. Now, back when we were in MWF, we were actually doing something similar to this, and you got to witness one of those tapings.
Yeah, like I said sa Discord natin, I really love yung tapings, yung schedule na taping where they will tape multiple episodes in one go. Kasi you got to see a lot of wrestling. I got to experience that when when MWF was doing action novela. So, plus. This was what I wanted Ring of Honor. When TK bought Ring of Honor, this is what I wanted anyways in the first place. Na they would have their own set. They would have their own, like venue where they could, para lang maging unique siya and something to make it distinct from your AEW show. So I'm glad that TK has finally done this for good this time. And yeah, looking forward to seeing the episodes because I love the atmosphere of studio wrestling. It's something that from watching the footage from the 80s and the 90s, I always get a kick out of.
I think
Maganda energy pag studio.
Yeah.
Yung tanging drawback lang ng ganyan is by the third or fourth episode, assuming na they're taping 4 episodes every
halata
month.
mo na.
Halata mo ng pagod ng mga tao. Yun lang.
Yeah.
Kasi remember
Depende
in
naman.
the NXT, nung NXT like a decade ago, by the third or fourth week of the tapings, alam mo na third and fourth week na yun.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So wala, give and take lang talaga. But yeah, my wish is that tayo rin in the local wrestling scene, we get to experience that again. Kasi,
Oh, yeah.
MWF, for all of its faults,
I mean-
we did get the taping part right.
I love those tapings.
I mean, Puso Wrestling is technically a tape studio show.
fair.
Oh, yeah. No,
yeah,
that's a great
hinati-hati
point.
nga pala siya.
That's a great call, Ro.
Yeah, fair. It is divided into
It is.
multiple parts. Yeah.
What we're doing with Puso is actually a great hybrid of like yung 7-card show or 7-match card or a 5-match card na nagiging weekly show. So yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's wind down here and get to some plugs. Anything you guys want to promote before the Thursday stream?
Emil.
I already said at the top of the show, planning to do some 2K26 stream. Probably I'm gonna do yung My Rise. That's the first mode I always play when I get a new game.
Alright.
So probably do that.
Yeah. Support niyo yung stream ni Emil kasi kailangan niya ng ROI for his King of Kings edition purchase.
Hindi, afford ni Emil Nate yan, USD.
Yeah, but I was able to afford it. There was
Kita mo, afford pala ni Emil Nate.
yeah.
Emil,
I
are you
No, 'cause
blessed
I got-
to have a job?
Oh my god, we're just again on air. Wow.
Na-afford mo so blessed to have a job ka.
Yeah. Some of my teammates know that I'm doing this podcast. So
Hey.
if you guys are listening, what's up,
Hey.
you guys?
Hello, Emil.
Hello teammates.
Na
Kumusta?
walang pangalan. Hindi ka importante kaya wala kayong pangalan. Okay, Ro, what do you got going on?
Yeah, guys, please buy tickets to WrestleStorm 3. Maraming ganap. Kurosho, Tokyo, Japan,
Japan.
was announced as
Yes.
JDL's replacement opponent for Carlo Cannon. Tickets are still available. Dexcon.helixpay.ph. Use my discount code DexconROM. That's DXCNROM. That is 100 pesos off. Sulit yan. Marami pa tickets while they're still available. And MTG fans, Magic the Gathering fans, new episode of the Bulls Club PH podcast now available on YouTube and Spotify. Yun lang naman.
For me, actually, I just want to thank the people who were asking for an Elimination Chamber watch party. I know you guys really wanted the experience, but we will have that for WrestleMania. So we're going to start working on it because we are clearly on the road to WrestleMania 6 weeks from Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, follow the show at Wrestling Podcast or at Wrestling2X Pod. Individually, it's at Roiswar, at EML_Meister, at Chino Supersized, and at _Stan C. Thank you very much to babyface producer Jasper for always putting us over and making us sound good. And thank you for catching another episode of the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. For Romoran and Emil Nate, I'm Stan C, reminding everyone to stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast. Out. Later, Outcasts.
Peace.